Welcome, everybody. Evolution 2026 continues. This is our 18th call of 33, and I can't say enough about everything that's happening in this event, as you all know. And today, the event takes a big, deep breath, and we welcome the amazing Ankara. How do I say your last name? Akiru?
Akiru, you got it, man.
All right, perfect. Well, welcome. Joining the summit panel, me and Dinka, and we have a great packed house here. It's pretty awesome. Got a lot of live people, and that's incredible. So I'm gonna get right to it. I always ask the same question, and I love the answers that I get. So I'm not gonna switch it up. Who is Ankhara Akeru?
Wow, okay. Well, before I start, I just want to say thank you so much for allowing me to share with you and on this platform today and your podcast and in your Skool community. Dinka and Brandon, you've been really big supporters for me since day one. So I just want to say before we get launch off, like thank you so much for allowing me to be here in your space and sharing with your amazing community. Looking forward to connecting with everybody on the line. But yeah, Ankara. Who is Ankara? Well, Ankara is a being, a person that manifested from stardust. And I came through the portal here through my mother's womb, here in Jacksonville, Florida. And part of my story is being a loving father. I have one 16-year-old little girl. And I'm also an entheogenic explorer, and we can get into that some more. But I'm excited to talk about, exploring with the entheogens, and I'm also a breathwork coach, which I actually recently switched to breath word coach instead of breathwork coach because the word also carries the breath. And yeah, that's it. Um, I'm just here like all of you. I'm a human and I'm here to share my little story and experience, and I'm happy.
One of the things that I've come to know about you in the time that we've known each other now is you have a really fun way of how you play with words. You really, and Dinka always says words are spells, always. Like words are important, like the words we say, how we carry them, how our brain hears them. So I've been, where did that come from? Because one of my favorite things that I use now, and I've seen in other communities, is I heard I gave you some advice and you said, hey, thanks for the feed forward instead of the feedback. And I was like, oh, I love that because that's right. I give him some advice. He took some action. It's feed forward. So where did that come from?
It became a very curious topic, like language and the words that we make from very early ages, like a teenager, exploring language and also learning about the importance and significance of word, sound, and power, and how words actually carry power behind them because these resonance, these syllables and different tones that we make actually kind of vibrate and activate certain specific energies. And so, in our current modern society, we sort of are entrained into this language, in the English language, the English, you can even say the angles, look at the A, but we start to, see how we've been entrained and sort of like programmed in this languaging set. And that actually keeps us in that mindset of like the language that was given to us. So it's like a program, and we all have received it, no matter what language you speak. It's a sort of like a programming from the system. And we know that when we connect on in other ways, like when we connect in heart space, it's more of like a language of a smile, or a language of light that you can see in the eyes, right? And so it's a totally different model of languaging. And so what I've decided, and through some guidance, is to start to take the language that I've been given and reorder it. So we have back words, you know. The words are back, flip them around, so you can do, many different things with that, like leak, A leak in a boat spells kill backwards. So the rudder, and the way that you sail in a ship, if you get it backwards, you're gonna get a leak in the ship. So it's a way to reorder our languaging and to take the power back into our own hands, and like have fun with it too, play with the language. And I took a lot of guidance from my early connection with Rastafari. Rastafari is from the African and Caribbean culture. And it was something that I connected deeply with, the music and the message. And they have their whole tenets are around word, sound, and power. So those are some different guiding posts to allow me to get to the space where I can use language in a different and new way that makes it fun and curious.
Oh, that was an amazing answer to that question. And yeah, you gave me a lot of depth and understanding on why you do that. And it's so, I always, my family hears me say this a lot. I always say, your brain doesn't know you're joking. Like, don't kid, your brain doesn't know you're kidding. Like, don't say you're a loser because your brain doesn't know the difference. And I always say that. So, like, words carry so much. And I absolutely love that aspect. So, the men's breath work, breath word, as you said. Why men's? How did that come about?
Thanks for asking, man. It's, for me, it's been a journey, first of all, to discover myself as a man. And I've found in that discovery that it's really important to have community and connection, and for men to have a safe space to go deep with each other, and to relate and connect, and share their stories. And it's something that's really lacking in our community. Like, I love that women are so connected to, their community, to their wombs, to the earth, and they have this deep connection, and men are really lacking that. So I found that by, creating a space where men can kind of connect and go deep, and, having something in common like the breath, we all get to breathe, right? I mean, it's the
Yeah.
most common thing, and the most significant thing to life is the breath. So if men can get together in a safe space where we can share, our emotions, we can share discipline, we can share accountability, then we start to build each other up, not only in ourselves, but in our families, in our communities, and we can, meet the world in a new way. And us as men get to define that. It's not like a man is this cookie cutter thing that just this is what you have to do to be a man, wake up at 6 a.m. and do 300 push-ups and so on and so forth. No, a man gets to decide his own, definition of what man is, but he gets to also hold himself accountable in that definition. And so this space is about like really connecting through the breath and creating a safe space for men to like really grow inside of themselves.
Man, that the way you put that is just so awesome, and it just makes me think, guys, like this summit is showing how much good is in the world. Every single person we talk to, the way they explain helping other people, and how you can see it in their eyes and the words and the tone, is the way they're saying the impact and why they're doing it. You're like, man, it's so incredible to hear how you explain that. So what what is the vision with your breathwork community and with how you explore breathwork with your men right now?
Yeah, well, I'm learning very quick that the community inside of Skool is really all about having fun and connecting in that way. And so I'm learning about how to create a space that's like safe and fun, you know what I mean? And it's cool for us to do breath work together, and we can have fun with it and share stories and things. So I think that that's a really important aspect of it. Ask me the question one more time.
Just kind of where what your vision is for how you do your culture in your community with your breathwork.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So basically what I do is I created two different spaces in the week. on a Monday and Thursday evening, and I just do a quick drop in because I feel like with with most people, but particularly with men, we need to be resourceful with our time, and so I try to not do like something too long and drawn out. It's like 20 or 30 minutes. We can drop in together, do some breath techniques, talk and just connect as men. But those are 2 times through the week that I've created, safe spaces for us to do breath work together. And then some of the other cultures that are sort of like starting to take hold and get some tap roots, I'll say, is creating fun way like using playing cards or battle cards. And it's a really fun, creative, interactive way for us to like, we in EntheoBreath for Men, we have battle cards just because it's more like, for our niche. But you could create any type of card in your group, like, or in your community, that's for, if you're doing tarot, or you're, say you're an herbalist, you can do all different types of cards that are like specific to your niche, and give people sort of like an identity, and allow them to like identity in your group, and give them something to like look forward to and work towards, like as far as engagement. And that's the most surprising thing to me here, that it's like it's super fun to like connect and engage, and then like you're earning your way up through these different levels, and then you unlock all these amazing things. So for me, it's about allowing some of the as I open my community, what I did is I created sort of like a challenge or a competition for people to reach a certain level. And then for those men that did that accomplishment, I just ushered them into my premium plan, because I don't have anyone there, and I want to start building that premium plan culture where we have really a very focused space with just a small crew, and we're building together. So those are, I guess, some of the different type, culture and techniques that I'm using to create like engagement inside of my community.
Well, what I love about that is in this society, in this culture, in this world, is a lot of like busy. We're all, especially for men or anybody, right? But for your target audience, like we're busy at my age and we have kids and families and stress and jobs. So we need to focus on breath work and ourselves. And I know a lot of people in our generation, a lot of guys, myself that I talk to, are looking for that small group guys to share with, guys to talk with. It's not the old edge, like guys keep it all in and we do our thing. Like we're actually looking for those core little groups to talk to more and share the stuff going on and take a big breath. So I love that you make it fun and you make it, hey, you can come here, it's safe, and you can share who you are, because every man needs that, because you got everything going on behind you. You need that time to reset, or a lot of us crack. So I love that you're supplying that. I'm going to toss it over to Dinka because I seen her take her off mute. I know she has questions.
I do, yes. Well, my weird astrology brain goes to places, and now I kind of wonder because, in my experience, a lot of people are drawn to the element that they lack in their astrology chart. So I want to see your charts, but I wonder how or why did you start with breath work? What was the trigger, or what was the seed of this journey for you?
Yeah, thanks for asking, Dinka. The very first little baby seed that was planted in me was my curiosity and interest in altered states of consciousness. So from a very early age, I had the opportunity to experience altered states of consciousness, or non-ordinary states of consciousness, let's say. And so I started to try to learn ways and techniques that would take me into that space of deep connection without having to, take anything. Could just do that strictly with the breath. And I discovered Stanislav Grof. Stanislav Grof is he developed a technique called holotropic breathing after doing, like, I think around 10 years of study, clinical studies, research studies in the late 50s or early to late 50s, right? And he was doing research with LSD, and he was worked with thousands and thousands of patients or clients. And through that study and through those 10 years of research, he basically developed a way, because LSD became illegal, he developed a way and different techniques to get into that same altered state of consciousness with breath, drumming, dancing. There's different sort of techniques that you can combine together, but specifically holotropic breath. Holotropic breath is basically, holotropic means like the journey to wholeness or the journey to oneness. And it is a technique that was advanced by Stan Groff. And so, from like 18, 19 years old, I started, kind of exploring these techniques and studying his work. And then what really, was the deciding factor in me actually becoming certified and serving people in my community with breathwork was the birth of my daughter, you know. And that was a planned, unassisted home birth in the water. We had no doula and midwife at the birthing, and that was our intention. So it was a really, really powerful birth. And in that process, I had always envisioned catching my daughter, being there to, receive her as she came through. But in this particular case, her mother was sort of like in the water, losing her ability to hold herself up. And so I jumped in the tub behind her and was holding her up, supporting her from behind her shoulders. And my mother was there. So my mom came around and she was there to catch the baby. But as she came through, I wasn't ready for this moment that she wasn't breathing. And it just took me by, pure surprise, like that she hadn't taken her first breath. And in my mind, all I could think about was like, breathe, breathe, breathe. I kept saying breathe in my mind. And in this moment, I actually caught myself in a moment of breathlessness. I wasn't breathing myself. And in this breathless moment, I basically was introduced into this visionary state where I saw a thread of light connected to the womb of her mother, connected to my daughter. My mother was there, and then I could see the grandmothers and great grandmothers and great great grandmothers all the way back through my lineage with this cord or string of light that connected, you know. And it was and in that moment she took her first breath. And so that moment was like, this is life changing, this is visionary, this thread of life that's connected with the breath to the birth of life is powerful.
So
I feel like this is how it's supposed to be, like birth is not a sickness. You don't have to go to a hospital to give birth. Okay, there are instances where you need assistance, but I think it has been done outside of a hospital for many, many years. And we're so, maybe it's gaining, it's becoming more popular. There are more and more people who know that this is actually an option, that it can be done safely, and they opt for home birth. But I mean, what a joyful moment, right? To receive a new soul coming through that portal, and being together, all the different generations, and that's how it's supposed to be, not with like all the medical stuff and like masks and all of that, like with the lights. And it's such a shock when this is your first experience, when you just open your eyes and then you're like in a stadium pretty much. So I really love that you gave that experience to your daughter, and you instinctively knew what to do because you just helped her to take her first breath, right? And I find that really, probably because of this, your connection is probably it's really strong, I bet.
Yeah.
So that's really beautiful. Thanks
Well,
for sharing.
you're welcome. We as men have the opportunity to take the power back into our own hands when it comes to the birthing of our child. We have the opportunity. Now, there's definitely a space where, you need to have a hospital birth, or there's a little bit more, you have the midwife and the doula and all that, or you're birthing at a birthing center or something. There's nothing wrong with any of that. I don't want to degrade that way of giving birth, because it's in the place for where it's needed. And we as men get to help take the reins back in that birthing process and say, hey, I'm going to study emergency birth care. I'm going to study the process of the women's trimesters and understand what she's going through during the birthing process. I'm going to be there to catch my baby with no plastic gloves. I'm going to have candle lights, and I'm going to be having, frequencies and music, and I'm going to be bringing that child into to this plane in the same space that that child was conceived in. That's it. It's like that same space that your child was conceived in is the same space that you give birth into. And it's powerful.
Yeah, that is super powerful. And honestly, when you said I'm a father and I have a 16-year-old daughter, I could feel the energy that you even like, you didn't tear up, but you welled up, right? Like there was a love that instantly came off of you. As a father of three and love for many kids, I could just feel that energy and that story, man. Wow. I mean, like that's why. Like that's incredible.
Thank you.
So I got a fun question actually. So you talk about metal stuff and things that you make and the things in your community, and Evergreen's probably seen a little bit of it. Can you explain what all that's about?
Yeah, I can do better than explain. I'll just show you a little piece right here. And this is one of the tools that
Came with
I
props.
make. I say they're, I call them energetic devices. I call them crystal synergy ankhs. And I call them synergy ankhs because it's a combination of different energetic qualities, where you've got the crystal, the piezoelectric element of the actual producing electrical charge, and then you've got that current carried through the copper, and the copper has its own energetic quality. And I also use magnets and things inside here, so you have an electromagnetic current basically flowing through this whole piece. And synergy is when you like sort of combine these different energetic qualities to get a quantum leap in the energy field. So these are really to just kind of amplify and focus energy for healers, or they're used for different aspects, and it's not limited to one specific thing. But this and I hand make each one of these with different combinations of crystals and things. And this is something I've been doing for like 20 years. So there's a lot of love into it, and it's something that also is sort of this eternal life symbol. So that's kind of it, like what I do in a nutshell with the crystals and the copper. But yeah, let me know if you have any curiosities about that.
I feel like I do, but I want to see if Dinka has like neat questions in this realm.
I mean, you had me at crystals, so
Exactly.
I don't need to
Exactly.
understand. I don't need to understand how it exactly works, because I don't know. I thrive in the not knowing sometimes. But yeah, I dig it. I think it just looks beautiful as well. And anything that you give power to has power. It's so
Yes.
simple. So I'm actually good, Brandon. But yeah, I really love it, and I definitely I would like to have one. So maybe we should talk.
Yeah, I call that Dinka. I call that understanding. All right.
Oh yeah,
So instead
I
of
call that too.
understanding, you're not
Yes, yes.
standing under anything looking up.
Hmm.
We're coming from inside, seeing inside of
Yeah.
ourselves. So that understanding is that
Mhm.
intuitive eye, that intuitive.
Yeah, absolutely. Love it.
So, along with your breathwork teachings and stuff, I know a lot of things that you talk about, and I'm going to mess it up because I can't say it correctly. But talk about microdosing a little bit, because I know this is something that right now in the country, in our country, is, I don't know about the rest of the world, it's kind of a hot button thing. A lot of people are talking about it with multiple things, ketamine, mushrooms, all sorts of different things for mental health. And I know you know a lot about this, so I'm going to let you rip for a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks. Well, that's where I use that term entheogenic explorer to sort of like delineate, because entheogens are sort of the natural, earth given plants and fungi that wouldn't be synthesized in a lab or anything like that. So entheogenic is a little bit more, more niche in that it's working with like plant teachers essentially. And so, not everybody is ready to go on that journey. Not everybody is ready to see through the veil all at once, and some people just need a natural way to get them in a space of focus, to get them to be able to get better rest, to get them to be, more in that transformational state of mind. And, microdosing can be done with many different plants and you know molecules, I guess you could say. But for me particularly, I like to work with either psilocybin or Amanita muscaria, and I combine those with other different sort of like mushroom medicinal mushroom blends,
I'm going
like
to need the what now? What was the second one?
Amanita muscaria, which we know.
Okay.
I'll just define this a little bit better, so those of you who don't know. Amanita muscaria is the like red and white cap mushroom. It's the emoji you use for mushroom.
Oh,
It's the Mario brother mushroom.
that's what I was going to say. It's Mario mushroom.
Mario mushroom, yeah. So, when you eat it, boom, 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 you go big and then you get the fireball. Right? So, the Amanita is traditionally used really all over the world. But particularly the culture that I'm from, which is Irish and Celtic, particularly is worked with the Amanita muscaria very specifically as like the Druids and the shamanic culture of the Celtic people who were the healers and things. They were working with Amanita muscaria, and also the Liberty caps, which is would be the psilocybin variety. And so these are two different, sort of things that I particularly work with, and when I'm microdosing, but it's in a super minuscule amount that's like a non-threshold dose, we'll call it. Like you're not gonna, be having visuals, or you're not gonna be like impaired where you can't drive a vehicle or go to work. This is something that you can do like a 0.25, so a quarter of a dry gram of, Amanita muscaria or other the psilocybin combined with medicinal mushrooms like lion's mane and chaga and other different combinations. But those is going to help with brain health. They're going to help with focus, clearing the fog from, I know Brandon, you love the brain stuff, so it's really really great for getting focused, getting creative, and getting out of that foggy state of mind that we're in. So
Oh yeah, so many mushrooms have great medicinal brain properties. Like you said a bunch, chaga, lion's mane. Like, and mushrooms are kind of a overlooked super food, if you will, if you ask me.
Oh, fully. Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just about like where but what I do is a lot of people just, whatever, they take their little supplement, their mushroom supplement, microdose in a capsule form or whatnot. But what I really like to do is connect, because for me, it's like these particular plant and fungi teachers have a specific sort of like, spirit, if you will. And so when you connect with them and you honor the plant teachers in that way, you kind of build this reverence and communication with them so that they want to open up and sort of like reveal certain things. So the microdose is just a way to kind of get started, connect with the energy of the mushroom to get more focus, clarity, get into a creative state of mind, and sort of not have to like rely on pharmaceutical chemicals that do things with like way worse side effects.
So,
So that's really what the microdosing is about. And
and in a sense, getting in tune with your ancestral roots and too. So yeah, I like that.
I do have a question about this because I actually have some mushrooms in my fridge right now, and I did take a little bit some time ago, and as you said, like I didn't really feel anything. I didn't even thought that I would. But I'm definitely intrigued and definitely open, and I know a lot of people who did pretty amazing stuff with mushrooms. I think the most amazing story, and it's also kind of very um, relevant for me, is someone I know who actually went through menopause with mushrooms, just like the whole transition. She set an intention, and instead of having like the hot flashes and all the kind of symptoms and all of that, she just kind of asked the mushrooms to guide her through this transition. But she was no newbie to this, so it wasn't her first time. But as I am turning 44 this year, and this is getting closer and closer to me, I mean, I didn't know this was an option, Like, I want this. Why not this? Do you have any kind of guidance or wisdom? I know that you probably, well, I don't know. I mean, you had, you were at your daughter's birth, so you might know more about this stuff than most women do. Do you have any wisdom or any tips and tricks for a noob like me how to approach this ambitious journey?
yeah, so you basically want to start from scratch and create your own microdosing sort of like regimen, and you have some at home. Basically what you're gonna want to do is just get some capsules, like the clear
Yeah,
gelatin
yeah,
capsule.
yeah. I have them. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and then you just want to get a measuring thing, measure a scale, and measure out like a 0.25. It has to be a scale that weighs smaller than a gram, but basically you're gonna just create a 0.25, quarter gram little dose, grind it up, and put it in the cap. Actually, I grind it first and then, measure it out and put it in the capsule. You can combine it with other powdered mushrooms as well, but it's super simple, like as far as just creating your dosages. But then what I would do is I would create like a plan for, like, you don't want to take it every single day. There's a couple of different ways that you can like plan your microdosing, but to make the most effective, because you will build a sort of like tolerance over time.
Mhm.
So essentially, you're gonna want to like, what my personal plan is to do 4 days on and 3 days off. So
Okay.
I'll go like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday doing my microdosing, and then take Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the weekend off. So you can do it like that, but there's other ways to set up. So Dinka, you and I can get on a call like
Oh,
and
I would love that. Thank you so
drop in about
much.
that. But yeah, I want to
Amazing.
just give you a little tidbit there and give
Yeah.
everybody, some basic knowledge. If anybody wants to go deeper or whatever, definitely, reach out to me, and I can be out the best I
Is
can.
this a service that you offer within Entheo too, into your community? Do you kind of guide people in any like groups or anything in your? Is that, or maybe it's in your vision to do?
Yeah, it's in my vision, man, because we just
Tornado
kind of
power.
got out of the gates in the last 6 weeks, and I'm still really, building a community and figuring out what everybody wants and needs. But but that is I'm going to be doing some live retreats this year, and I'm going to be inviting my community to, come IRL events and link up and do breath work and, take the journeys and hike the jungles and surf the waves or whatever we do. But it's going to be happening this year, and so that'll all be kind of rolled into the Skool community here in EntheoBreath.
I absolutely love that, because me and Susan, a member of ours that we were on a podcast last week, we're actually talking about this. We're like, school in real life, but in the community. She wants to do stuff where you like basically live stream something like that within your community too. And I love the ideas of like people getting together and really like connecting through wellness on many different levels. So I love that you're offering that school and real life type of aspect, and thinking of going that way, right? Like that's what it's all about. Like we can connect here on Zoom and videos and threads all day, and like we can have our secret little lingos that we do and stuff. But when you get to meet those people, like I know I'm gonna have a fire one day with a bunch of Evergreen Foundations members around it. It's just gonna happen. Probably at Dr. Melissa Partega's land, and then we'll have Foundations Portugal someday. But yeah, I love that it's all about the connection, right? You want to bring your men together and impact one at a time. And that's really cool, dude. Like I think that's you can't ask for more out of school and school communities and a practitioner as yourself. So how long have you been like working with people? I know the breath your daughter's birth 16 years ago. That was the spark that gave us the breath work of Ankara. How long have you been like really dialing that in and working with people?
I mean, to be honest, I've been working with people since, when I've always been in service-based work. I work with people in my early 20s, doing trail building. So I was a trail crew leader, and I took young men and women out into the woods, and we learned how to use tools to dig and tread and learn life skills and camp out in the woods. So from a very early age, like service has always been important to me, and I've also traveled doing like volunteer work on organic farms and things. So the community building and the those sorts of connections are natural to me. And I think that, as far as me serving the men's community and doing breath work and things like that specifically, it came into focus, yeah, in about the last 5 years, because it was really like, when there's a space that's like lacking, it's either like try to scramble to find something or create it yourself, right? And so, and there's men's groups and connections out there you can find, a lot more these days, but for me, finding it in my space and creating a platform where that can happen, not just, on a specific schedule where everyone has to show up live, but where people can connect all throughout the world in one platform, like that's really potent and powerful. And so that's sort of like the vision of the platform, to dive from is to have that sort of global connection and that global community, and then dive into those more IRL experiences and things. But yeah, I essentially my vision is to help at least 1,000 men over the next year, whether that's virtually or in person. But I want to really have a big impact and serve a lot of men. So that's sort of like the commitment and the vision for EntheoBreath right now.
It's a pretty honorable commitment, man, and I don't have a doubt. We had a live breathwork session here for the summit. That's on our wall. And in the summit classroom, like I know how powerful you are with the breath, and anyone that's going to listen and sit down and really open themselves up to allowing themselves doing it, I know you're going to have an impact. So honorable commitment, brother. I can't. That's amazing.
Yeah, and with that one, you don't have to be a man to do the breath work. Probably, a lot of people are familiar with at least, doing some type of breathwork, simple or, easy stuff. But if you haven't, or even if you have, this is going to give you maybe a couple new different techniques to practice. And with the breathwork, it's like, it's not something you got to do some half-hour meditation or like really, pour a lot of time into it. It's something that you can do for 3 to 5 minutes. And that's my vision inside of EntheoBreath for Men, is to create, you know, effective and quick ways to relieve anxiety and depression, just with simple breath techniques, like 5 to 10 minutes a day. And so, go back and check out that replay and learn some techniques, or just practice, practice what you already know. And that would be a
So
powerful way.
so powerful, man, because I've been going and been seeing us. We're doing the summit. Like Summit Sharon said yesterday, like I bet you there's a lot of back work. Me and Dinka and everybody here in these communities, we're going all the time. And last night I just felt that like sympathetic, like, oh, my nervous system's going a little bit. It's cold out here. It's snowing. I went for a 10-minute walk and I did box breathing, 4 seconds in all the way around, right? For 10 minutes, and boom, my mood's better. And it's so, a lot of us forget that's an option. And it's kind of, I'm glad that you're being a reminder. So one of your brothers from Entheo Breathwork, our brothers, I'm also in that community. James Bonsbach has been blowing up the chat here, or the thread earlier and stuff for this call. I took you off of mute. If you'd want to, James, you are more than welcome to jump in, ask a question, give reactions to your brother. You're more than welcome to do that. Otherwise,
James was my man. James has been
not to
instrumental
throw him on the spot,
in
but otherwise, oh,
I was just saying, James has been instrumental in my in the creation of my community here in Skool, as well as you, Brandon. But James has been really impactful and been really cheering me on and helping me out. We've both been helping each other, and we've been sparking off of our creative ideas and like really developing. We're helping each other develop our own communities, but also jumping in those respective communities and contributing. I say pro-tributing instead of contributing, because I'm not in
Another
there
one.
conning
Love it.
anybody.
yeah,
But
new
yeah,
school owners. That's what it's about. Connect and collaborate. Find your people, find your tribe. When you do that and you give to others and they give to you, that's when this starts becoming so special. And when you find your brothers, and that was going to be what I wanted to ask next is, how do you see, what is that culture of what the guys on their ground level coming in, showing up, having fun with your battle cards? What is that already in a few weeks meant to you?
man, it's been huge. It's like even just having one person show up on a live call, that's on the calendar. Having two, or just one or two guys in there, it's huge. It's massive, because you start to know, even if it's just one or two people that I'm connecting with and making some sort of impact or reaching them, that's making a difference. And so instead of getting discouraged because I didn't get, X number of members or what, like, I'm more focused on creating a really engaging culture and something that's fun and effective for my guys. And so it's like I'm not trying to just like blast off 1,000 members in a month or something. I really want to understand what my community needs and be able to offer that and them in a way that creates like organic natural growth. And I've been actively in school for about 6 weeks, and we've got 42 members today. And so,
Yeah.
I'm stoked about that.
And that's what it's all about. You need the one connection leads to two connections, leads to five. But you got to start with that one that you just, if they show up to all the groups, if they show up all to the threads, everybody needs their special agent Martin. They do. Everybody needs that person. They show up all the time to every group, because then you get into the flow of what you want to do. And then each person that comes in makes it something special and different. So I love how you put that in. I really love how you put that in the words. I'm going to check the thread. Dinka, do you have any reactions or questions at this moment?
Well, yeah, I just wanted to say that I think that, we say this a lot, that authenticity and just the way you show up, your energy translates into your school community. You are the driving force, you're the engine behind your community. And I think you are doing an amazing job at just being yourself unapologetically and just radiating this kind of really cool, grounded, fun energy. Because I look at you, I see like a spiritual gangster pretty much. And I see that. I love that
I
you
love
make
that.
it cool, it's cool. You have to meditate 20 hours a day and like go sit on
Yeah.
top of the mountain or whatever. No, I guess you're busy. You live a real life. You have responsibilities and things to do, and you don't have like 20 hours a day to meditate. And I think that's really needed, and it's cool that you can embody that and share that and empower other men to be interested and just like keep an open mind. It's not like it's not a cult, right? Like you don't have to turn into this whole other person, but just to give the opportunity, like, hey, this is an option, like try it out, and maybe it adds something to your life. So I really dig that. I think it's super, super important, the work that you do. So thank you for shining your light. It's beautiful. So there wasn't really a question in there, but I just kind of wanted to share that with you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. That's very kind. And it's something that we really get to take that time. Like I made a post in my group of just like taking that time to give someone that positive feed forward, you know what I mean, to just share like how the day have affected you. Is like sometimes we are doing all this work and it's like we don't feel seen or we don't feel like it's landing somewhere, and then someone comes through. I'll give you a short small story. I was in Mexico in a very remote place in the jungle visiting this very small little Mayan temple, and I was hiking through nature, or I was hiking through this trail that was leading me to exit the park that I was in. And around the corner comes like a pretty large group of single file people, and they all had their mask on. This was around after 2020. And so I just stepped off the trail and let them all pass. And the very last person in the line looks at me in the eyes, and I look at her, and she goes, "Oh my God, Ankara?" And I'm like, "What?" And she takes off her mask, and she's like, she's had been one of my followers on Instagram, who never showed her face, never said anything, never really reached out and connected. But I'm in this like jungle in Mexico, and like I'm by myself, and here's this person, and they're like, "Hey, Ankara, I see you. Like, thank you for what you're doing." And so we really don't know the type of impact that we're making by
Mm,
just showing up and being that authentic self and sharing our story. It gives other people that validation and that right to like step into their greatness and to be like, "Yo, I got some juice too." So Dinka,
absolutely.
you got the juice. I love your energy as well, and I'm super excited to continue building this community with both of you.
Yeah. And it's just so much fun. I think that's also, there's so many people who have been in this summit earlier, and then, hopefully also going forward. I'm sure that we will meet some new people that we don't know yet. Every single time we share this time and space, there's just like ideas being born constantly, and it's just so beautiful, like inspiration, and just like riffing off of each other's energy and reflecting things back to each other, and inspiring each other. This is what community is about, and not about this whole scarcity mindset, like, oh, I have so many followers or members and you have so much, and we shouldn't talk to each other because you will take my members and da da da. So I really love that this is totally changing, or at least in our circles. And maybe this is just our energy, maybe some people have a very different experience of Skool, but I love that in our circles this is totally changing, and everything is becoming like this kind of circular, like collaborative kind of ecosystem. And you're definitely an integral part of this, Ankara, because you came in like like not a tornado, maybe another natural disaster that I can't come up with, but it's a very present energy, and I think you know that and you own that, and it's okay. Like not everybody has the same intensity, but it's also you have a gentle but intense energy. So I love that, and it's
I'm
definitely not unnoticed.
thank you. I'm gonna embrace the tornado. Actually, according to the Mayan calendar, I'm a blue electric storm. So
Okay.
I embrace the storm and try to find
Oh
the
my God.
eye.
And then the two of you paired up with Brandon. Oh my God.
Tornado power, man, and
Race for
action.
impact.
Well, I've been coining the term, like I have all my school brothers and school sisters, right? This is different than social media. You get on camera with people, you talk to them, you connect with them, you hear when they're having a shitty day, like you are here when they're having great moments and wins. And it's just different. It is. You become family with people you've never met from all around the world. One of them in France, our special Mark Lawrence, who doesn't have a voice today, our brother. So I'm going to give him
Well,
mom.
actually, he just said that he will give it a go. So
Oh, if you want to give it a
he
go,
might.
ask your
Yeah, yeah,
question.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I do want to
I'll
give him a
mute.
shout out quick. I want to give him
Yeah.
a shout out, Mark. Mark was posting that question on the thread in Skool. Somebody's figuring this technology stuff out, Mark, and I'm proud of you. You can go ahead, buddy.
Cheers, brother. Sorry, Ankara. You probably hear in my voice. It's almost gone now. However, I wanted to just share something with you and to thank you for sharing today. This is from the old guy to the young guy in our tornado group, and I appreciate all that you've said, all that you've done for us today. The energy is intense, and our tornado group is going to fly. You know, I've been hit by some big storms here in this last week or so, and you know, it's going to be nothing in comparison to what we're going to bring to Skool. So thank you for that. And my question to go along with that is, what's your favorite crystal and why? Because you keep asking it in my group.
Well, I just happen to love crystals, and I think it's a cool way. Like, it's a cool, interesting conversation starter. People are like, "Ooh, I never thought about that," or like, what is a crystal? People, I think even Dinka asked me, like, What's the difference between a crystal and a gem?" So it gets people curious, about like I love to think about like what we would embody if we could be something that's not like in a human form. So it's a creative way to get outside of being like this little human. So it's like we can morph into like a raven or into different elements of nature. It becomes a fun game. So if you can imagine, like, crystals are multifaceted, and I feel like they really embody what we are as humans, but in a solid state. If you look at a crystal, like, there's many crystals that come uncut and unpolished, but yet they have faceted sides and specific hexagonal patterns and shapes, right? They're multifaceted. They have many different faces, and when the light hits, it reflects and refracts to different angles, and cast a rainbow here and a rainbow over there, depending on what angle you hit that crystal with light. And even different crystals have different colors, so it's like we start to embody these different aspects of our personality and who we are, whether we're formed in the ocean or whether we're really hard or soft as calcite. So asking someone what crystal they are is really fun question. So for me, what crystal is my crystal? So this one right here.
Oh, I'm with you there, brother. I've got one too.
So this is called the Andara crystal. It's a very, very rare crystal from Mount Shasta here in California, United States. And this one has 72 monatomic minerals, meaning that the bonding of each molecule inside of this crystal is It's not connected or bonded to the neck, so it's a monatomic crystal. It has you can program your water and different things like that with it. So the
Cool, Dinka.
Ankara, that's it.
Cool. I've got some that I use in my traditional Chinese medicine practice, which I've picked up all around the world. And there are some specific ones that I use that I brought back from Hawaii many, many years ago, and some amethysts that are built into a combination of crystals made by one of the uh, New Age guys in the Big Island when I was over there. And I still use it today. It's great, and my patients love it, and it does a lot of good healing work. So, cheers, brother. I appreciate it.
Great to connect with you, bro. Thanks for the great question, man.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Take
Mark.
care.
Thanks, Mark. And that energy for tornado power on Monday fired me up. That's kind of hard to do sometimes. Good job. Shout out to Jack from the schoolyard. I love that we have the live thread. James had to run for his wife, and he's back, I think. So, James, I did allow you to have audio if you did want to talk. But I love the live thread while we're doing this. And seeing what people are saying about calls is so fun. Maybe he's not there yet, and his name's just there. All right. Well, you can interrupt me at any time if you can't hear us, James, and your mic goes off. Do you incorporate like crystals in your breath work and your work in like how you when you work with somebody? I think I need a favorite crystal. Honestly, I don't think I don't know if I
Well,
have
here's the thing. Get this. We are biocrystalline beings. Okay. So first we have to define crystalline. What is a crystal? A crystal is crystalline. That's a scientific definition. It's not just, a woo-woo thing. Crystals are crystalline, but many other things are crystalline as well. So crystalline means that something that has a structure, it has sort of like a sign of intelligent thought or intelligence innate inside of it. For example, like the quartz crystals are this hexagonal pattern, so it's organized, it's symmetric, it's a very like it's almost like a thought out preconceived thing. And so I think that with the crystal, sorry, I got off track there. What was the question more time?
basically if you use like crystals like in your breath work or with your
Oh,
with
okay, yeah, okay.
is that part
Sorry,
of
sorry, I got
your
off track. Sorry about that. My mind was kind of like going in all these different directions, like diverging. No, so okay, so we are biocrystalline beings in that we have that symmetry. We have that organized. You've got two eyes here. Your body is in symmetry, and we actually even display like this Fibonacci ratio within the body, that golden spiral, right? So the sacred geometry, the crystalline structures are within our blood and bones. We are a biocrystalline being, right? So that's the first part of it, right? And then we start to look at, the brain in this case, because this is like an oscillator, the pineal gland, and it's actually producing, in a very, very small, minute amount of endogenous DMT, right? So basically, when you start to put pressure on the pineal gland, and you do this through using the breath, every time you breathe in deeply, you're pumping that cerebral spinal fluid up the spinal column into the brain, and then when you let go, you're releasing it. So what you do is you start to get that pump activated, and you can even move your spine while you're doing your breath work, okay, and coordination with the breath. But these types of things start to get the spinal fluid like moving and pumping, and then you're putting this pressure as well on the pineal gland, the third eye, and this is like starting to actively release small amounts. When I say endogenous, that just means inside the body. It's DMT is already inherently within the human body in very trace amounts, in the lungs, in the brain, and in the gut. But you know, it's something that when we start to create this pump, that crystal, even, you know, it's like a crystal activation inside the consciousness. But we activate that biocrystalline nature within us. Piezoelectric also we need to understand is because that's when you put crystal under pressure and heat, it starts to produce an electrical charge. Okay, that's why we have the microprocessing chip. It's a silicon chip, right? Silicate. They make it out of silicate. Well, silicon dioxide is quartz crystal. So they use these mother quartz to create microchips. They use original crystal from nature. But when this crystal is put under pressure, it starts to oscillate. Okay, it starts to like exude this energetic signal or charge. And so when we start to do this breath work, even when we run or walk, we're sending vibrations through the bones. And our bones contain microscopic, it's a stone that's called apatite. It also had, you know, magnesium and calcium in the bones. But this specific crystal called apatite, not like you're hungry, but the stone, apatite, is a microcrystalline inside of the bone. So when we run or walk, we put pressure and it creates a piezoelectric charge inside of the body. It activates this electrical component and we start to circulate, we start to oscillate, right? So breath work, body movement, all of these things are key in activating that piezoelectric charge so that we can really like radiate our energy and like, you know, be that positive impact in other people's lives.
Mm. I love it that this crystal also came up in Destiny's chat. She's well, I don't know, ghost hunter, I suppose, and she uses the blue apatite stone for her investigations. So it's super cool. I love these kind of, you know, little echoes. But was going through my mind when you were talking about the cerebral spinal fluid, I think it's called,
Mhm.
that you posted about this, and I actually knew that it's basically just one molecule different to the ocean water. So it's literally our brain is swimming in the ocean, and the way you describe it, it's almost like the tide going up and down, like the breath, you know, going up, and then it's like it's the same cycle as the ocean. So again, we are all connected, and I love the kind of, you know, we're just like the miniature version of the ocean, which is inside of us. So yeah, it's so cool.
So get this, Dinka. This is the amazing part that I didn't explain in the post, and I'm glad you're here so we can kind of like you know, lay this out a little bit deeper. But inside the womb, this womb, the water inside of the womb, as you mentioned, is very, very close to ocean water, right? And the womb that we're born in, when that conception happens and the first cell splits, right? That's called invagination, interestingly enough. But when that cell process happens and that first invagination creates the first living cell in your body, it grabs the womb, the water inside of the womb, right? So you've got to imagine that every womb and every water and all the water within everyone's body came from their mother's grandmother, great grandma, all the way back. So then it's like, all right, well, where is the origin of this water? Well, it must be the ocean, the great mother, you know what I mean? So it's like that you can start to draw that, you know, into like, how does that affect me? Well, it just means that I'm living ocean water from the sea, you know, and my mother is the ocean.
Yeah, and also if you think about it, when we search for life outside of Earth, we look for water, right? That's the
Mhm.
signal of life in other places. We always look for water. So water is life, and water holds intelligence. I'm certain of this. And there's more and more science that also backs this up. You were talking about crystals, so I view water as a liquid crystalline structure. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, or I don't know if it's something that you explored. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this.
Oh yeah, well there is different types of water. There's crystalline waters, you know. They call that sweet water in like in ancient traditions, you know, sweet water. And that's the water that water doesn't come from earth. That water comes from deep space. And so like I've been in a peyote ceremony with you know, some tribal elders, and there was a grandmother who told a story about the origin of water and where it came from. And the story started off planet in like almost another galaxy, you know. So
Like
this
Star
water,
Wars in a galaxy far, far away.
right? The war for water, but yeah, truly. So this is like makes up most of our body, and if you look into like cymatics and the how that you can create water patterns and geometry within the water molecule by vibrating at specific frequencies. So we know that if we, as water beings, mostly made of water, utilize sound frequencies to realign and remember our original patterns, our original connection to the water. It's, you know, it just listening to sound frequencies can subtly. I actually work with this technology. It's called the sound bed. So we have a bed with like transducer speakers embedded in the table, and when you lie on it, you have headphones, so you're going on this musical journey, but all the bass tones and all the vibrations are hitting beneath your body and vibrating every cell in your body. So this is a technique to start to remember and reverberate and recalibrate our cellular memory. So because it's like we get fragmented from stress and daily life and all this stuff, you know, coming down, it's like we start to distort, right? So when we can come back into a coherent field of sound vibration, we start to realign ourselves and remember who we are.
Wow. The, your guys' conversation about water really sparked like childhood memories for me because I grew up in an area called the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and I grew up right on Lake Superior. It's the largest freshwater inland lake, and there is a power and an energy like almost on a like molecular level with the way the water moves and feels and the temperature, and it's an unforgiving lake. A lot of lives have been taken in certain areas because of undercurrents and all kinds of stuff. It's just we call it Mother Superior, and it's when you're there,
Mhm.
you feel that, like you really do. It's powerful and unforgiving, and but beautiful and majestic and energetic. You almost leave wherever you came from when you go by that water, and it's just, there's nothing like it. And there really it's I've been by the ocean and everything, and I can see that too. But the experiences I have on Lake Superior brought up everything you guys are talking about on how powerful water can be, not just to drink, but to be around and experience the energy if you allow it. And I kind of grew up with that for the first 30 years of my life, and I think I took that for granted until much. The last time I went there, I just kind of sat, and I brought my girlfriend there for the first time, and we were just sat and looked at it, and it was like, wow, like you can feel. I miss this, and you can feel. It's almost like it talks to you. Not to hijack your call, but you brought that like that emotion out of me. Like you guys were talking about this, I was like, man, like
Mhm.
all
Now
those feelings.
you know
Yeah.
what? It kind of like harkens me back. I had this sort of like epiphany while you were speaking because the you know that's the Great Lakes, right? And the Great
Yep.
Lake
Yep.
Superior and things.
That's the
So
greatest of the greats.
that lake was created by a massive meteor strike,
It's
and
deep.
that the water in that lake came from that meteor strike. So that's off planet water. Like that's you know there's something about meteorites in that they brought not only the first water, but they brought the first microbiomes and the first fungal, growth. Basically, like the spores of fungus can travel in a vacuum, you know. So they rode on the back of these meteorites right along with little, you know, particles of water and entered the atmosphere. So this is where you get the concept of panspermia is the idea that life came to the planet from outer space on a meteorite.
That's amazing, and I actually know that. But once you,
It's another wormhole to go down.
Right?
but
So
now that you
many.
say
I
that
love these. I love these.
about the meteor, like when you sit in the rocks on Lake Superior and you're looking for sea glass, or you're just like on because it's not really sand beach much. It's all lots and lots of rocks, and you can pick through them, and there's like a power to those too, and it's just something to it. So yeah, man, that's actually kind of epiphany me. Look at that. Hey, a super kind of funny moment is Iris just shared a picture of her cat in the thread that is like entranced by you. He is sitting right by her computer, like watching your call, and I thought it was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah,
I think
I got.
James is ready to
Yeah, James, what's up, bro? I want to
James,
hop
hear
in.
you.
So go ahead. I think you're off mute already. So
Yeah, what up,
hear it.
Ankara? Good to see you, brother. Yeah, man. This has been really fascinating. I'm sorry I had to drop my wife off to work, so I missed a portion of it in the middle. But you know, I have a question for you specifically, since you work with crystals and onks and copper and charge. You know, I used to be really into creating energy amulets and crystal wire wrap with copper and specifically weaving intention. So I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on kind of the triforce between, you know, sitting down and putting intention into crystal and copper as you make the piece and how that affects the charge and like just what your thoughts are around that, because I really believe that there's something to when you create with your hands and your heart and your mind, something changes and people experience that and it can affect people in deep ways. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on it.
Yeah, for sure. You can see an example in this piece right here. Here, this interwoven sort of pattern, right? It's almost like a DNA strand here, right? And so, and even this, you know, the weaving and the intricacy of the patterns and the geometry. So it's highly intentional. You know what I mean? And intention is everything because it keeps you in alignment with the focus and that creative process. Like it's literally, you know, tension when you feel tension, right? So, you know, the water tension, um, you're inside of that with the intention. And so by creating that tension, you're basically, you know, vibrating and reverberating a specific frequency. So what I do is I work with, you know, different people that want to utilize these devices, and I look at what they want to amplify. I look at what's blocking them, and then I intentionally select different crystals, maybe through just intuitive process, but also through my knowledge of the crystal kingdom over, you know, 20 plus years of working with them. But I'm very intentional with how I select and create the piece, and with that, the crystals are like in communion with me. So in that process, maybe one crystal says like, no, I'm not the one. Another one's like, oh, pick me, put me in coach, you know, like, so it's not necessarily just a textbook definition of what crystal goes where and things. It's more of like intuitive creation process. But for sure, with every, like, you know, even sometimes I scratch my finger or cut myself and I bleed a little bit. It's like my DNA, my, you know, and I'm opening myself up as a vessel for this piece to come through. It's not like, oh, this is my creation and look at me. This is like, let me open a channel to create a piece for this person. So I use these unique combinations of crystals, and then by intentionally wrapping that wire, we're creating that pressure and that just geometric alignments that then carry that frequency through the piece, and you can, it's actually like almost like a living, crystals are sentient beings. They're like in the solid form. Like I said, like they can't move around and stuff, but they can hold memory. They have energetic charge. Like they're very similar to humans in a lot of ways with their crystalline structure. So I hope that helped answer your question.
Yeah, that was amazing, and it just felt really resonant. And I always used to say that rocks have been better friends to me and crystals than people sometimes. So I call them my little crystal buddies. So that intuitive process of just finding, it's like the ones that jump out to you are the ones that are actually communicating with you to say, hey, this. So I feel really resonant with that, and I wanted your perspective, and it sounds like there's a lot of resonance with what you shared in that. So I really appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Heck yeah.
And that was an awesome question. And James, we film this podcast, Evolution, the podcast, every Wednesday. If you want to be a guest, hit me up because I want to talk to you more.
Sounds good, brother.
Thanks for sharing, man.
Yeah, we gotta get James on the show for sure.
Yeah, the minute he's asked the question, I'm like, we need to talk to James more.
I love how all of this is like self-organizing. Like not once we had to be like, who should we get on the show to talk to? Okay, it's also only been like 3 weeks, but I think even for the Wednesdays, we're like 9 weeks already booked
Yeah,
or
I got a bunch
something.
of
So I
weeks
really
booked.
love how the more we talk to people, the more inspiration we get and the more, plans we make, and it's just like really self-organizing. So it's been really fun, and I super look forward to talking to James, for instance. So yeah, amazing.
What it's doing is it's highlighting ordinary, everyday superstars, superheroes. Every person that we talk to, their visions align with helping other people. And you don't see that everywhere. And I love that Skool has bunches and bunches and bunches of them. And I love collecting our little tribe that we get to learn from and spread their message and their news. So yeah, I thanks for sharing, James. Thanks for jumping on here. I love the aspect of you never know who's going to talk. It's kind of how Mark became our extra special guest panel member. I have a question about your whole journey a little bit. I really admire. I'm a person that in the last 2 years have been down a journey of becoming more spiritually attuned to listening to my body through fasting, through the way I eat, through the choices I make, through the movements that I do. I'm trying to get better at journaling and breathing and meditating. I'm struggle. Mark, help! Me slowing down the tornado power. It's a real thing. It's like the car chasing it. That's kind of me meditating sometimes. So I really admire how spiritually in tune you are with animals, as we talked about your spirit animal, the Owl and Better Brain Project yesterday, the rocks to crystals, even from your journey with your daughter's birth and how you got into breathwork. Everything has been, to me, as I've digested what you're saying, very spiritually connected and grounded. Would you say I'm resonating correctly with that?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I want to be the bridge and the gap between, I guess the logistical, scientifical side of our brain to the intuitive, feminine, creative side of our brain. So I want to take these spiritual concepts and aspects that for me come very, I can very easily digest and understand them, but I want to be able to translate them into terms that, like, people can connect with themselves on more of like maybe a logistical place. So I am infused with that spiritual energy, but it's also like a technology, even like we have the breath is a spiritual technology. It's a tool that we can use to harness in 3 to 5 minutes just to change our whole perspective of how we're operating. So before we get off the line, I know we just got a few minutes, but I definitely want to share at least one little, you know, um, gem that you can walk away with and actually apply this into your life. How does that sound?
That sounds awesome to me, man.
Okay, beautiful, brother. So, yeah, I wanna just drop in with you all, but if you're a man on this call and you've enjoyed this session, you're invited to come over to EntheoBreath and check out the work that we're doing there with Brandon and James and a lot of other really fun folks in that space. So come get some more there. But right now we're gonna really, this is open for everyone, so I'm really excited to connect with each and every one of you. Let's go ahead and take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth, just to drop in and connect into that present space within ourselves. So let's take a draw in through the nose here and out through the mouth. Releasing, letting go. Maybe dropping your shoulders. Deep breath in through the nose, deep down into your belly, all the way down, and out through the mouth. Releasing, letting go. Relaxing your neck, your back, your muscles. And one more deep breath in through the nose. Deep belly breath, and out through the mouth. Release, let go. All right, amazing. You can continue just tapping in with your breath as we move along here. But what I'm going to share with you is the what Brandon referred to earlier as a box breath. I call it the 4 seasons breath, but it's a super short and sweet, effective way to drop in with the breath and take control of your breathing patterns, to calm the mind, and to provide a little bit of a safe and easy space to hold yourself within, right? So 4 seasons, we're going to breathe in for 4 seconds. We're going to breathe in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, and hold for 4. Okay, so 4 seconds in, 4-second pause, 4-second exhale, and then 4-second pause again. So there's 4 seasons, 4 cycles, 4-second breaths. Super easy and fun to do. And we're going to start out, I'm going to count you through we're going to do 3 cycles of this, okay? I recommend 3 to 5 minimum per day, or per freak out session where you need to pause and pull back for a minute and just catch your breath. You can do this for 3 to 5 cycles and you'll totally feel different. So let's go ahead again. We're going to drop in and we're going to start by breathing in through the nose for 4 seconds. So let's just go ahead and exhale all the breath. Good. Now breathe in through the nose 4 seconds. 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. 2, 3, 4. Exhale through the nose. 2, 3, 4. And hold. 2, 3, 4. And breathing in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale through the nose. 2, 3, 4. And hold. 2, 3, 4. 2 more cycles. Breathing in. 2, 3, 4. And hold. Breathe out and hold. Good. Breathe in. Hold. Out through the nose. Hold. Great. One more cycle here. 4 more seconds. Breathing in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. Exhale through the nose and hold. 4 more seconds. Last one here. And you can come back into rested, relaxed breath. Breathing in and out through the nose. And, this is something that is important for us to understand about breath work before we leave today. Just a little, something to make it land for you. But first, tell me how you're feeling in the comments, or just, reflect on what's going on within you right now and just be present with yourself. Did anything change? Did you have a shift in your frequency? Maybe new thoughts came up. Maybe you're feeling more energized, but just notice how you're feeling right now. Make drop in the comments, let me know, but also just maybe even drop into your journal and share how your feelings are there in the journal. So I wanted to say, wait, what was the? Sorry, my mind went to a different place for a second. Help me remember.
You were leading us with a little tidbit to leave us with, and you did the breath work, and I think it's a kind of a perfect segue for Dinka to take over and talk to you about your card, actually.
Yeah. So for each guest, I draw a card from my oracle deck, and again, the cards never disappoint. So you got the Water Guardian.
No
And
way.
it reads connect with your emotions. And it was so funny, like when we were getting into the whole water bit of it, I was even showing the card to my husband here next to me, like, look. It was so cool.
Okay.
I couldn't wait to reveal it. I love when this happens, and it happens a lot. I hope this resonates. If you want
Oh,
to say
fully,
something
yeah.
about it.
Now we're all in resonant order as crystalline beings, into sacred geometric patterns, and we're awakening that piezoelectric energy by putting that pressure and heat, bumping up against each other and creating that electrical charge so that we can really activate and do what we love to do in life.
Oh man, I could talk to you for a long time. My foundations brother, my Entheo brother, Brainiac brother, Tornado brother. Like we're gonna have a lot of time together, and I couldn't be happier. Man, how I end all these calls has been amazing, and we're gonna keep going with it. What does evolution mean to you?
Evolution. It means reflecting back on the self and just growing a little bit, even if it's really small increment on a daily basis. And we can evolve in the mind, we can evolve in our bodies, we can evolve emotionally, spiritually. So, evolution is important in the process for us as humans to grow and expand. And I think just even moving the bar, like even 1 little%, 1 little degree every day, and evolving to be a better person. Like I feel like a better person just showing up on this call and sharing this with you all. So I evolved today.
And I don't know if I like the word better because it implies worse. And man, you are an amazing, amazing person. I'm glad we got to connect for this 90 minutes. Guys, give him some love in the threads, ask him any more questions. Dinka, final thoughts.
I mean, yeah, you said it all. It's been super fun, and it was really great to experience your energy live as it gets through the internet. But yeah, we definitely need more Ankara energy in anybody's community, really. So yeah, let's connect everyone, connect the
Yeah.
dots.
Thank you,
Well,
Dinka.
guys,
Thank you, Brandon. Appreciate you.
thank you. Have a great day, everybody. See you tomorrow.